Everybody likes being famous, but do you really want to be famous like being unqualified captain? Trailers can have problems. Stick around for the common mistakes while you're trailing. Hi, I'm Sean from Cove Lessons in Boating. Because we own a marina, we use trailers non-stop all day long. So whether we're going to the ramp to put a boat on, or we're going up into the service or sales yard to pick up a boat, or we're just moving it around to go to the shop, or going to a boat show, or delivering a boat, we are constantly hooking up, unhooking. So we have a lot of experience when it comes to all things trailer. And there are some common mistakes that people make. So we're going to go through all the things that you should do when you're trailering your boat that have to do specifically with the trailer itself and making sure it's loaded properly, hooked up properly, and everything is secure for your trip. Let's start with what happens when you're in the yard. So when you're in the yard and you're leaving your boat on the trailer, we want to make sure one of the first things you do after you back it in to the spot that you're leaving it is that you're going to chalk the wheel. Now, a lot of people will buy a proper wheel chalk, which will look like a little ramp, and it will either go either behind or in front of the wheel and tire to prevent it from rolling back and forth, because there's nothing worse than seeing your boat go down the laneway on its trailer. On this trailer, it's a tandem axle, so you can actually get away with one block, because by putting it in front of the one wheel, you're also technically putting it behind the other wheel. So if for some reason this is going downhill, but it also could go the other way, it'll still stop. Some people are really overly cautious and will put chocks on both sides of a wheel to prevent it from moving at all. So once you've got the chalk or block in place, you can then unhook your trailer. And you're going to want to make sure, one of the most common things we see with trailers are either damaged light plugs because someone did not disconnect the light plug and then pull it away, and that tension will either damage the plug itself or the cord, or even worse, rip it out of the trailer, which becomes a big repair. Or the other thing that we've seen is people forget to either unhook the safety cables, which are hooked to the vehicle, or most frequently this cable here, which is the emergency brake cable, so that if for any reason your hitch or tongue failed and the boat was disconnected from your tow vehicle, this would engage the brakes so that the trailer didn't wander off down the highway. This piece here is the most forgotten piece and is often left hooked up to your tow vehicle, and you pull away and snap, it breaks it. So make sure you disconnect that. Now that you've put your boat on the trailer at the ramp, you want to make sure one of the first things you do is hook up the rear tie straps, because that's going to keep the boat centered and from jumping around while you're going down the highway. So that's one of the first things you do. After that, at the ramp, you're going to make sure that the front cable is nice and tight. You want to make sure that there's lots of tension on this and that the bow eye is butt up right against the center roller. If you leave that back too far, you're going to find out there's a lot of movement and a lot of bouncing while you're going down the highway. And sometimes we've seen when you pull it out at the ramp and you get onto level ground that it's not close enough and you need to back down into the water and crank it up tighter again. So once you've got the back straps on and you know that's nice and tight, you're going to put your attention to the trailer hookup to the vehicle. And there, these are called your safety chains, and sometimes they are literal chains and they have chain length. And then in this case, these are high tension wires. They keep the boat from going anywhere in case your hitch or coupler fail. And what the best practice here is to cross these underneath when you hook them to the vehicle. The reason we do that is that if the coupler or hitch fail, it's going to drop. And by crossing that it kind of catches and cradles the tongue of the trailer so it doesn't dig into the roadway. After you've hooked those up, you're going to hook up your emergency brake cord or cable, and then you're going to hook up your lights. And your lights can either be a 7-pin, 4-pin, or 5-pin plug. And you want to make sure that you plug them in, and then of course check all your lights to make sure they're working. Your hitch is also likely got a pin that can be inserted to make sure that the latch stays down. This, in many states and provinces, is a requirement and is illegal to trailer without it. Once you've hooked your trailer to your tow vehicle and you've got it all hooked up properly, you're going to want to make sure that you raise the winch or the tongue jack and secure the handle properly so that it's not moving while you're going down the highway. If you're going on a long trip or you're going to be going highway speeds, make sure you always fold your bimini away so it doesn't get damaged. After you get your boat trailer hooked to the vehicle and the weight's on it on level ground, you're going to want to make sure that the trailer frame is pretty much exactly level with the ground underneath it. We see lots of times where people go down the road with the tongue too low, which puts extra weight on the tow vehicle, and it will cause the whole package to sway going down the highway, or where it's too high and there's not enough tongue weight on the tow vehicle, and that also causes the vehicle to be very uncontrollable while going down the road. So with weight on it, you want it to be as completely level as possible, and it may be that your tow vehicle requires either a raised or a dropped hitch in order to make that work. Proper trailer etiquette and safety is paramount because you are all excited about a day on the water and you don't want to end up with a day in the ditch. Thanks for joining us on today's Lens Cove Lessons in Boating. Make sure you subscribe to get on board for more of these type of videos. If you like today's video, make sure you throttle that like button, get out on the water, have fun, and stay safe.